Welcome back again to my channel. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Today, I have quite a rarity of a clarinet. I've had access to this really rare clarinet for over 10 years. It's a Buffet Half-Boehm. What is a half-boehm? Well, it's not a full-boehm clarinet like we're used to, nor is it an enhanced boehm, but it's half of an Albert clarinet and half of a Boehm clarinet. It's really weird. We'll get right into it right now. Right here, I have it with me. I was looking over a few things earlier. Bingo, what we have is a half-bone clarinet. So what we have in the first top is you see an Albert clarinet. Quite distinctly, Albert clarinet. No problems. The lower half is a Boehm clarinet. Now, when I first saw this, I'm like, this is the oddest thing I've ever seen. And it came from a person that I know. He's a repair person down in Argentina, I believe. He had both a B flat and an A. And you can wonder, well, why don't you just take half of an Albert clarinet and half of a Boehm clarinet, just stick them together, and this is what you have. And you could think that, well, maybe someone just kind of put two different clarinets together and ended up with this. But they actually did make these at one time. And I found a brochure from 1915 that actually has these in the catalog. And we'll get to that catalog pretty soon too. But as you can see, it's really weird because the upper half is a simple Albert keyed clarinet, and the lower half is that of a Boehm clarinet. When it first ended up in my hands, I was like, wow, what does one do with this? It's actually quite fun to play. And just playing it by ear, you learn your Albert fingerings quite quickly. And then you got your regular Boehm fingerings on the bottom. It's, you probably wouldn't want to play it in an orchestra or anything, but it's just fun to play. Once in a while when you get it. And back when I first got this, I reached out to an Albert expert back then, and they really didn't look at the pictures I sent them. They saw the lower half, said it's just a Boehm, and I said, look at the top half. Anyways, after some research, we were able to find a B flat A set in an Australian museum, found another set in a European museum, and this was part of a North-South American set. So there's not very many of them out there, and it's interesting that they were sold at one time as a actual clarinet, basically as a training clarinet between Albert players going towards the Boehm system. Really strange, isn't it? So we're going to take a look at the catalog real quickly. This 1915 band catalog. It's on like page 66, I believe. It's really interesting. I should just have a video just about this catalog itself, going back to 1915, looking at all the instruments back then. All the brass instruments, all the piston instruments, Kuznan, pictures of their factory and everything. Really neat. All these pictures were hand drawn back then. It's like quite amazing. Nowadays, just grab a camera, take a picture, and modify it the way you want. Saxophones, you gotta love saxophones, right? And we kind of get to clarinets. All the clarinets. And then here, in this Sherman Clay and Company section, they talk about a half-Boehm system clarinet made for those players who have learned upon the old 15-key system and do not feel like spending months of practice to perfect themselves upon the Boehm system. Practically all that is accomplished upon the Boehm system can be done upon this clarinet by any player of the old system without any change of fingering. This will prove to be a boon to all the clarinet players using the old system. In addition to the 15-keyed system, we have added a new articulated G sharp and C sharp key, whereby you can trill from B natural to C sharp, and from F sharp to G sharp, with the first finger of the right hand, a double E flat key for the little finger of the left hand, also a B flat shake key on the upper joint to shake them from B flat to B natural. As you can see here on the left-hand side, there's high-pitch versions in the key of A, B flat, C, and E flat. Yes, they made these in E flat. I wonder if any actually exist out there in someone's attic or something. And then low pitch, which is in the key of A, B flat, C, and E flat again. Really interesting. You can see the Buffet's item numbers they had here are, as you can see, numbers. That's basically how R13 was started. This is actually an item number, R18 and a half, I can't even read it anymore. So high or low pitch in A, B flat, C, or E flat. Oh, and I want to show you this real quickly if it's here. Adjustable mouthpieces and adjustable barrels from Buffet. That's why I want to go over this catalog. There's a lot of weird, neat things in here. Oh, and I found something weird and neat on my shelf too. Another Buffet clarinet over there that I didn't know I had. Interesting. So this was actually in a catalog from 1915. Quite amazing. One of the things I did though is I measured it out, and I found out I never really did this, but I found out the upper bore is actually conical like a saxophone. And when you play it, there's really not much resistance to playing it. Usually on a clarinet, modern day clarinet, I should say, I guess, the bore is tapered. It goes from bigger up here to smaller down here, and that helps create resistance. And you can feel it in the mouth. It's really even usually on with the upper joint, the resistance. And that helps the reed also maintain a consistent vibration too, keeping the resistance stable from top to bottom, really consistent. But this doesn't really have much of a playing problem when I play it. It's really nice to play. Of course, it's interesting to play. I don't remember what the fingerings are. I haven't really played in a long time. Of course, the bottom is a regular Boehm clarinet. What I have here, just want to show you, I have my RC Prestige next to this Half-Boehm clarinet. You can see they're very similar. This one has a flat trill key guide. The other one has a slotted barrel. Of course, the older one has a shared post between the two throat keys. And long keys on the other side, and not very many post keys. And of course, you got the rings on the modern Boehm clarinet, and of course, the different locations for the extra tone holes and stuff. It's quite interesting. You see the evolution of that Albert clarinet to a Boehm clarinet. Of course, you got the open tone holes, you got the cover tone holes, and the ring tone holes. It's very interesting. And the trill key, the side B flat trill key, is long and thin, just like you find on Albert clarinets. Of course, it has all 4 trill keys, not just 3. So, and it's long and flat and has a slot in it. So you can see all these differences here. Approximately the same location, tuning back then wasn't exact. You got the slot here for the C sharp, G sharp key. Pretty much the same in all regards, just an evolution of technology. On the front here, you can see how much further down the register vent is on the old clarinet from the very top. It's quite a bit down, or the newer one's quite a bit up. Matter of fact, from the R13s, that was one of the differences between the early 50s, 60s, and 70s clarinets, was they modified the location of the register vent. They kept moving it. They did it to help intonation, and they did it to change the tonal palette. Of course, on the lower joint, you can see regular Boehm to this one. It isn't exactly a Boehm clarinet, but it does have the 4 pinky touches there. This one had its thumb replaced. This one has a flat spring underneath the one key, as you can see, which you'll see in a lot older clarinets. But for the most part, it kind of looks like a regular clarinet until you say, like, hey, this is actually missing a ring. And you see the sliver key there, just goes straight across, and modern ones are smaller and further up the body. But it kind of looks like a regular Boehm clarinet, but it's different. Of course, it's sharing one post there, and has the pin and socket on the side keys. They're doing that a long time ago. They're lucky they didn't break. Really an interesting clarinet, and it's fun to play. Like I said, it can take a fairly open mouthpiece, and it's one of those fun clarinets you want to play once in a while. You can't really play it elsewhere though, and I haven't really figured out all the fingerings for it. I just kind of play along, and yeah, whatever happens, happens, you know. But as I mentioned, I measured the top of the bore, the upper joint. That comes out to approximately 14.5. Not exactly approximate, more like exact, isn't it? And the bottom is quite a bit bigger. That 14.95 on the dot. Of course, I can feel sticking in there. It's not really 100% cylindrical. It's close to it, though. You can kind of wiggle it a bit so it doesn't shove in there all the way. Of course, the barrel, the upper joint's a little bit shorter than the regular clarinet, but this is 67 or 68 or something. Oh, maybe even longer. Quite a long barrel. 68. And there we go. The barrel's the same size. What you find out is, like I mentioned, this bore is an early 1900s bore. It's conical like a saxophone. Resistance is it's fairly open flowing. It'll take a lot of mouthpieces, really any type of mouthpiece you want to play on this thing. Of course, later on, the upper bore went to more cylindrical, which provided more resistance for the player. And then, of course, it went to a taper, like the master bore buffet, and the polycylindrical then, where it's, of course, bigger on the top and smaller on the bottom. And that provides us more resistance back, keeps the reed vibrating properly all the time, consistently. An evolution of clarinets over time, just like they have been then and they are now. You still see it today in some of the weird clarinets to come out with every so often. But I don't really have any more than that. I was just showing off this rarity of a clarinet while it's in my hands. I hope you enjoyed looking at it. Of course, any questions or comments, put it down below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe and like. You gotta love the knowledge, you gotta love the life, and you gotta love clarinets, especially things like this, right? So see you next time.